Hello and welcome to Arise America. I'm Debbie Turner-Bell. In the news today, Egyptian forces stormed the camps of pro-Morsi supporters. The death toll climbs as the country is under a state of emergency. A UPS plane crash lands in Alabama, killing the two pilots. And more pregnant workers are being penalized for picking motherhood. We have all of that and a lot more right now on Arise America.
Broadcasting live from the heart of New York City to the U.S. and across the globe, this is Arise America.
Egypt is in crisis mode today. Here is the latest. After the military made its move on supporters of the ousted president, the government has declared a month-long state of emergency and imposed a nighttime curfew. Egypt's military at dawn today delivered on its promise to forcibly remove pro-Morsi camps. The Muslim Brotherhood's fortified encampments proved no match for riot police, backed up with armored vehicles, bulldozers, and helicopters. Smoke and tear gas clogged the air above Cairo. Witnesses say the scene was complete terror. The death toll is nearing 200, many are reporting, saying the violence could have been prevented. Egypt's Vice President Mohammed El-Baradei has resigned, and the United States has condemned the use of force. For more on the turmoil, we turn now to Egyptian blogger Aisha Charves, who is on the phone with us from Cairo. The photos, the scenes that we have seen, Erica, are absolutely horrendous. What's the atmosphere there right now in Cairo?
Well, right now it's 7 p.m., and that's supposed to be the beginning of our curfew, but looking out over my balcony, you could not tell. There are still cars going by, groups of young men hanging out at the coffee shop nearby. So even though there's all of this turmoil, people are still trying to sit around, talk with each other. All of the talk in the street is about politics right now. There have been a lot of street scuffles in my neighborhood, just fights between neighbors and friends who are on different sides of this dividing line.
The number of casualties, including victims that died, has varied widely in what we've been able to report. Can you give us an update on the fatalities as a result of this crackdown?
The recent number that I've heard was 198. I've also seen an official number from the health ministry that said 150. All day it's been changing, and it varies so widely we perhaps won't know. As this plays out all night, we expect the death toll to rise.
As I understand it, the crackdown began around 7 o'clock a.m. local time. However, the military had threatened this crackdown several days ago. They let the deadline pass then. Was there any indication that they were going to enforce that deadline this morning? Any warning at all?
Well, Cairo's a big rumor mill, and people have been talking about it. The government did say they were going to clear it on Sunday. They said again a few days ago, and people started talking over the night that they were expecting it. But it really came as a surprise to people who were at Rabal Adawiya Mosque. It came shortly after morning prayers, and they cleared the group in Nahda at Giza, our neighboring city, in a very short amount of time.
There, of course, as you just mentioned, one of them, two sites that were the main targets of these pro-Morsi protesters, Nahda Square near Cairo University, and if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Rabaa al-Adawiya Mosque. What's left of those two sites? What did they look like?
Well, they've both been absolutely cleared at this point. Nahda was cleared early in the morning. The people who came through afterwards, the military and private citizens, burned the rest of the tents, bulldozers took them down, and their contents were removed. Now at Rabal Adawiya, people took a longer time to clear out. It was finally just before the sunset curfew. The military encouraged people to leave with impunity. They would not be charged if they would just leave prior to the curfew. So we saw lines of people streaming out of that area. And we were told that they cleared the hospital that they'd set up in that mosque.
You mentioned at the very beginning of our conversation that although you have approached the curfew that has been set by the military, that you wouldn't know it, that people are still out. Are there new sites where protesters, the defiant, are taking up location after these have been demolished?
After they cleared Al-Nahda, particularly, people walked from Giza across a bridge over into a very famous street called Mustafa Mahmoud, where in the past the military has clashed with citizens, and they started taking up there, building themselves a stage. And the military moved in quickly. They built themselves a fortified wall, and there were a lot of clashes all day long. But because of this curfew, the military will be more forceful than they were earlier and take them out and imprison anyone who's still out.
I read that some rail service has been suspended. Any other basic services suspended at this point?
Earlier in the day, as soon as the government started really cracking down on Rebel Adawiyah, most people were sent home from work for the day, and people started coming home much earlier because they knew that the metro would be suspended. The metro's closed now, trains going out of town. Pretty much everything has been closed. About 2 hours prior, when we heard of the curfew, every grocery store was packed with people, and now those have been shuttered.
And what kind of information are the people of Cairo getting through the local media there?
Well, local media has, throughout this entire month, presented really a one-sided story. They present the government side. They refuse to show anything from Rebel Adawiyah and the pro-Morsi side. Now they're presenting the Muslim Brotherhood as terrorists. They've shown pictures of weapons that were taken away, large clips for high-powered rifles. So it's very clear when watching these programs to see that the government had reason to step in and remove the threat from Egyptian streets.
Is there any indication that this interim government that has been put into place, and very briefly with your answer here, Erica, that the stability of the government is threatened in any way? We just reported that El Baradei has resigned. What is the state of those who are in power right now? Well, they've just put in yesterday 20 new governors across all of Egypt to replace the old ones that Morsi put in place that were favorative of the Brotherhood, and the new ones are all from the military. So this sort of resembles the military state that was in place when Hosni Mubarak was deposed back in 2011. All right, Erica, Aisha Charves reporting with us from Cairo. Thank you so much, and you take good care.
Thank you.